It's your boy Urban Hot, aka Urban Hot Philosopher, and Amontes'TV. All right. Today I wanted to talk about what's the difference between, and this is my opinion, between snitching and exposing. So the first thing I'm gonna do before I even go any further is make sure that I know what exposing is. So I'm gonna look up exposing real quick and see what it has to say. Okay. Let me open Gemini and see what Gemini's talking about. Hey Gemini, how you doing?
Hey there, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. It's a Monday night here in Petersburg, Virginia. How are things on your end?
Pretty good. I want to ask you a question. What is exposing? Can you give me the definition of exposing?
The word exposing is the present participle of the verb to expose. Therefore, its definition is directly related to the various meanings of the verb expose, indicating an ongoing action of doing one of the following. Here are several definitions of exposing, reflecting the different ways to expose can be used. General meanings: revealing or uncovering something. This can be something hidden, secret, or previously unknown. Example: the journalist is exposing the corruption within the company, making something visible or apparent, bringing something out into the open so it can be seen. Example: the construction workers were exposing the original brickwork of the building, disclosing or making known, bringing information or facts to light. Example.
So let me ask you this. How much do you believe does snitching and exposing relate?
You've hit on a really interesting point about the relationship between snitching and exposing. While both involve revealing information, they often carry different connotations and motivations. Here's a breakdown of how they relate and differ. Similarities: both involve revealing information. At their core, both actions involve bringing something that was previously unknown or hidden into the open. Potential for consequences: both snitching and exposing can lead to negative consequences for the person or entity being revealed. Key differences: motivation and intent. This is the crucial difference. Snitching typically implies revealing information, often about wrongdoing or secrets, to someone in authority, like police, a boss, a teacher, with a negative or self-serving intent. The motivation can be to gain an advantage, avoid punishment, cause trouble for someone else, or out of spite. It often carries a negative social stigma, implying a betrayal of trust or loyalty within a group. Exposing generally has a broader range of motivations. It can be driven by a desire for justice, to reveal corruption or wrongdoing for the public good, to inform, or simply to make something visible. While it can also have negative consequences for the exposed party, the intent is often perceived as more altruistic or necessary. Context and authority. Snitching usually involves reporting to a figure of authority within a specific social structure or hierarchy. Exposing can occur in various contexts and doesn't necessarily involve reporting to a formal authority. It can be done publicly through media, social media, or other channels.
So I don't know what y'all got out of that, but to me, exposing and snitching can be the same, I guess, depending on, like you said, what's the intent, what's your intention of doing this? What's your motivation behind it? And the only reason why I came to this subject, because it's like to me that all this exposing that's going on, especially done by the so-called gangsters, it just seems strange to me that you, even though you may know somebody's person that may be wrong to you, or or if you're in the street, nobody in the street that's in the street want the op or anybody to know what they're doing, what they got going on. So if somebody was to be under that institution, I call it an institution or a group or a society where all of y'all will be on the same page, I'm saying to myself, if somebody from your side or the outside decide that they want this expose something that you got going on that you thought was under wraps and go to somebody else with it. What is that? Is that him exposing that person or what they doing, or that's him snitching, telling what they doing? You know what I mean? I just think that, you know, it need to be more clear definition. If this gonna be something that people gonna be held accountable for, whether or not you're a civilian or you're a gang member, then somebody need to rewrite these rules and make it concise and clear of what people supposed to be doing. What is it that you supposed to be doing? I mean, because to me, all this exposing stuff and this man, to me, they ain't no different than somebody telling on somebody. Even if you think that person wrong, you still bring it to other people, you know. And at the end of the day, you don't always know everybody's whole situation, you know, or what led to what seemed to be exposing or snitching. But the thing is, if you telling something that people really didn't know and decide that you're going to show it, whether you thought it was public knowledge or not, and then in a way still manage somebody else's business other than yours. And snitching, for the real most part, is people that's, you know, putting you in a situation that you might not should have been in to get out of a situation. You know, that's the only difference that might be between exposing and snitching, is the fact with snitching, you know, they using this to get themselves out of a situation, but you exposing some information that somebody don't know that could be helpful for you down the line. It also is the same thing to me. I just don't see how it can't be. I just don't want to see how somebody on a level of 50 can sit there and expose somebody like, you know, the BMF brother, you know, and then, you know, bought the main rights, or if he bought the rights, or the female still had the rights. Either way, he must have always felt like that man had something to do with the situation where he felt like the man was telling, well, you know, whether or not his name was officially on the paperwork or whatever. It's still, he, you know, he exposed the man once he felt like the man went against him in some kind of way. So my thing is, as long as you don't get crossed, it's all right to know that the man telling, you know, it's all right to put him out there, put his business out there with their legendary run with selling drugs, and like you upping him up, and then soon as, you know, you felt like he crossed you taking a picture with Rick Ross, you expose this, you know, you expose him on, now you saying he's a snitch. And I mean, is that really, I mean, what is we doing? Is that really gangster? That's why I'm glad I never did join a gang, man. You know, we had our posses and all that back in the day, but, you know, that's why I said, when you're doing something, most times you need to be doing it by yourself, because there's always somebody in the cut that's for you and against you.